Good evening. Welcome to the Gunstock Area Commission public meeting of July 20th. We'll bring the meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Start us off then? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So, slight change in format. We changed the table to be more consistent with other committees and delegations meeting formats, and we've also, last month we tried to have a public comment at the beginning of the meeting. I'm not convinced that that was fully successful, so we've moved that now towards the end of the meeting where it has been. And so the first item on business, welcome Commissioner Wood, to get seated, is to review minutes of previous meetings.
I'd like to just ask a question first, if I could. Generally, we would always be sitting around the table, sort of participating in the conversations, and now it appears that we're back with the audience to be able to ask questions when we will. Is there a reason why that happened?
We just did that to be more consistent with the way other delegations and committees work. So when we go through the MD&A, we'll have you and Kathy come up to the table and run the whole show, so to speak.
Okay. I'd just like to say right now that I'd like to tender my resignation. I'll give you guys 2 weeks' notice. I'll be happy to facilitate whatever I can do. Obviously, there's been a lot of change in what we think that we can do as far as helping you guys out to be able to run the resort. I know there's been some discussion about what my role is and who runs the ski area and who doesn't. I had a great conversation with Doug Lambert. He was very nice about explaining to me that basically you guys are the boss. I understand that I answer to you, but that it seems that there's a lot more of the control that wants to come from your side of it, so I feel that my role here is diminished and you probably don't need me. So I'll be happy to like I said, give you a 2-week notice, and then I will move on and help you transition to someone else.
I resign. I will give my 2 weeks notice as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can count me in on that. I resign, give my 2 weeks.
And I resign too. You
Yeah.
guys, I suggest...
Gary.
That.
Oh, pardon me.
I will be number 4. Happy to give my 2 weeks.
You're resigning?
Yes.
I would like to...
Well, I guess I'm just gonna to toss my name in there too, because there's really nothing.
Mike, you need to get down there. Mike, you need to get down there.
I would like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
that you and Mr. Strang and Mr. Lambert and Ms. Wood show up at 6 o'clock in the morning from now until you can find somebody to replace this talented team, which I highly believe you will not be able to find anybody that would be willing to work with you. And therefore, I resign as well, and I'm disgusted by you. I'm disgusted by Dr. Strang. I'm shocked by Mr. Lambert, and I'm sad for Ms. Wood to be part of this political charade. Good luck. Time will tell.
for your service.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nobody else can put off for that.
Well, I think we should go through and approve the minutes of the prior meeting.
I think it was
I might make a
wise to call for your
From here to there.
recess.
All right. I will accept
Make a
that.
motion.
Recess for 10 minutes. We'll have a recess for 10 minutes. We're going to rooms across the room.
I think that was
We'll room across the room. Unless there's a room right there. There's a room right here.
I agree. 100% agree. 100% agree. It's like, you got Jeff, gentlemen, I want to remind you. I think,
I'm not surprised. I can't tell you how bad that team has been to them and how disrespectful.
Here, that if they were sitting at the dais with you as a team, and you already knew that things were on the ice, why would you change that from the get-go? That is the reason why they resigned, and it's just it's the wrong move. And this is my first meeting I've been to. I've been at Gunstock for over 30 years, 20-year resident here, and I'm astonished at the power play that you have that you've done that's resulted in a management team that has been excellent. And from a year to year, I'm looking at the financial statements, I don't understand where the failure is. And I understand also that I understand that they have to present an operational budget to you every year, okay? And they have been doing that, okay? I can't imagine, with this team that just walked out the door, I don't understand what your end game is here. And I just wish that you don't accept their resignations, that you bring them back, and you almost do it, walk back in time and come back to this meeting and have it the same way that you normally would have a meeting here with them at the table with all of you. Because that's the only way this is going to be solved. There are people here practically in tears about what's happening. And it just doesn't make any sense why you would change that at this meeting, knowing that you had a difficult situation to begin with. And it seems to me like you've got to work this out. You know, and that's it. My name is Frank McDonald, and to me, I see this as we are going to be so set back here for years if this happens. And it will be, you're the ones in charge. It will be as a result of this action. And I don't think you want that. I think we really want to bring this back. And please do the best you can to do that. That's all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we entertain public comment at this time for 3 minutes maximum each. Thank you, Jade.
Or 30 minutes.
I'll second that.
We have a facility that is now open with people who have reasonable keys.
All right, so there's been a motion to have public comment period for 30 minutes. Commissioner Wood entertained the motion. I've seconded it. Can we have a vote?
I seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we
Was
need
there discussion?
Do we have any discussion? I think one of the commissioners has a concern about the physical plan at Gunstock. I understand that. I think if we take public comments for 30 minutes, that would would address some things, and then we can move to a non-public session. Can we have further discussion? We'll take a vote.
I want to be here for non-public, but I don't want what we are entrusted with to be wide open to people who have keys, who have resigned.
So 30 minutes is not going to make a difference. All right. Can we have a vote now?
It's the...
Commissioner Strang?
Yes.
Lambert?
Yes.
Yes, yes. So 4-1. All right. We'll have a public comment period for 30 minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Mr. Murphy.
I would add that securing the physical plant is only secondary. You'd best get a hold of your IT manager and secure all of their accounts pronto. Because that could result, if people are wishing to really screw things up. And I do hope that your backup system is running very, very well. With that said, what I just witnessed was a political stunt worthy of Saul Alinsky. Now, maybe not rising to his most famous episode, where he was trying to get Mayor Daley to hire more of his have-nots at O'Hare Airport. And Mayor Daley said no. So what Alinsky organized was that he had hundreds of people who would show up at the airport. This was before you needed a boarding pass to go into all the areas. And when the big jets would come in, he'd have them all run into the nearest bathroom. And as somebody who spent 500,000 miles in the air, usually after those long flights, you're looking for the bathroom. And those people, at least on the men's side, would just stand there forever and ever. And eventually Mayor Daley had to give in. This, I think, after watching and reading about the situations, I think this is a power play. Now, they may be absolutely true, but with the advent of Brian Beal, who was guiding the Citizens for Belknap, being part of Open Democracy in New Hampshire, I can tell you, he is no responsible or respectable person. I've got receipts. I've got over 5 years of his emails. They just cut me off earlier this week. But I have enough to know that he is no conservative and does these kinds of things.
Are we at 3 minutes yet?
Yeah.
Don?
1 minute? Yeah. So while this does seem to point to really bad things, I'm not surprised at all. I was half expecting this before I ever entered the room. So the question is how are you going to play this power play?
We shouldn't be playing with anything.
Yeah.
This isn't a game.
Yeah.
This is not a game. That is correct.
People's lives are
But-
not.
My question for you is, why are you making this a partisan issue? What does him not being a Republican have anything to do with what's being
Yeah,
done?
excuse me, but this is not a debate. This is a public comment period. If you wish to make a comment, we don't need any warfare between members of the audience or the public. So if Mr. Murphy makes a point, sir, you're more than welcome to make a point. We're all wondering what your point is.
My point is this. I don't know why this is a partisan issue.
I never said partisan.
I don't know why he's
I never
bringing
said
Republican or Democrat involved. You're on your own damn tape saying Democrat right there. Go review it.
Look, Brian Beal, yes. As far as the management and these folks, no. Get your facts straight.
All right, Mr. Murphy, again, we're not having debates amongst members of the public in the comment period.
What RSA are you trying to go to non-public session for again? Can you repeat that?
91A3 Roman 2 subparagraph A.
Thank you.
I guess my follow-up question is, what is the plan now? And I know that, I know that this was a shock to everybody. So what is, just if you could, I don't know, and maybe Mr. Lambert, you might have something to say, because I know, I know that you are an intermediary here, and I know that you're also a long-time skier at Gunstock. So, how do we fix this? So, because there are many people who are sitting here who are employed at Gunstock. I have neighbors who are employed at Gunstock. We're all worrying about what's going to happen. So, again, I know that this is all a shock, but perhaps get your thoughts about what's the next step.
I appreciate your comments, sir. The point of comments is to provide comments. We've taken yours. I think if you are the seasoned executive that you say you are, then in a situation like this, we need to meet. That's the reason we have proposed a non-public session to determine what the next steps are. And when we go through that process, we will provide information to the public of what the next steps are. It's premature for us to, on the fly, address what we've just witnessed.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Denise Conroy, I'm in Alton, and I actually am a former CEO, 8 years working for private equity, Fortune 500, former CMO. Interesting, I've never been to this meeting. My husband's a ski instructor at Gunstock. It was interesting to me how you set this physical space up and you're hiding behind the subterfuge of rules and how things are done. You intended this. Let's not play games. This is the white guy game, right? You intended this. You knew that you have hounded this management team, which if you knew anything about business, these are exceptional financials, okay? This team has done a terrific job. I'm sorry, and it's about numbers. It's not about whether you like them or what you want. It's not what it's about. It's about numbers.
It's about supporting.
And it's about supporting these people. And you've got all these people sitting here. You're so incredibly dismissive. And it's just amazing to me how dismissive you can be and how you can get into this political blather, you know, when at the end of the day, we all come from different political stripes. My husband's this conservative, I'm super liberal, he comes home and he works with people of all stripes at Gunstock. It works. It's a terrific community and a well-run business. And I'm sorry for me, I'm a jaded executive. I've been at this for 30 years. Denise Conroy, Google me. I am who I say I am.
Amen.
And what I'm which I will turn over to
The new city drops through the front door, this way, there's like a little half moon window to their office, and she usually just drops it through there. After you lock it, so you have to go in the other door down here, and then throw the key in, and then the door locks.
All right, I guess I'll keep that then.
Was it monkey bad? I didn't see you area. Where's the projector? So I'm just gonna turn this on.
How are you doing?
Hey, we're
Here, here. What do you do? Yeah, running in and then hearing that. Well, one of the things they were on the way to start with was moving their seats without telling. Seems like a small thing, but it just felt, or they felt that it was a slap in the face. And, but it's too bad. This is a hell of a group that was here. Where did these guys go? You know,
I think some of them are in this conference room over here.
well, I'm not gonna hang around. I'll see you later.
Stand by.
Going through approving minutes, and then, also approving minutes for Where's Mr. Lambert? Well, we have about 2 minutes. Is that right?
We're probably asked. Are we going to return to? No. We should probably bring it back here.
I don't know what we're going to have a comment about.
Well, I do, I have a feeling.
Okay. We can do that.
I think we should go into non-public and tell people if they want to stick around and want a public comment at the end. But we don't know how long we're going to be in non-public for, so it's up to them later.
It's like competing entities. You want to comment? She wants to comment first.
Oh, they're just going to tell us how despicable we are.
Let's see, Commissioner Lambert is in the hallway.
I think he's outside in the parking lot.
Chairman, are we going to use a projector?
Nope.
Just want to make sure that we get that packed up and back in the case.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we adjourn the meeting after we've discussed what that will do to someone.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. Okay. Yep.
He's on his way back.
Yeah, which is very if it got out, it would adversely affect the facilities.
All right. All right, we're done with our brief adjournment, and we're going to resume the meeting because of the unanticipated acts of members of management. We're going to dispense with the current agenda, and the commission is now going to adjourn the public session of the meeting, and in order to address consequences we've just witnessed, we are going to enter into a non-public session.
Based on what, RSA.
91A3 Roman 2 subparagraph A.
You just have to say.
If you could, if I could make one comment from the public,
Congratulations.
okay? I don't,
We're not taking public comments
well, I'll
right
say
now.
it anyway then. I don't understand the things that have been the way they have been. I'm a retired Y exec, 30 years. If I did this with my board, the way the psycho seating structure,
What I would say to you is, the question I always ask myself is, where's the money and who's getting paid? And if you're not asking yourself that, you're not asking the right question, okay? So ask yourself, who sitting at this table here, with accepting you, Jada living in this, correct? Correct. Sorry, accepting you. But who's getting paid here? Who's stroking a check? We waiting for Vail to come in and buy this, or what's the big game here? What's the get? Because it's not just about making Tom Day and his executive team's life a misery, okay? We see you. And for me, I personally see you. And I will be at the ballot box, and I will be donating money to every person you run against, okay? Because that's how this process works.
All right, well, thank you for your
Thank you.
comment. None of us make any money at this other than $25 a day, which probably is less than someone in the jury pool. And,
We know the game, sir. We know the game.
okay, well, I'm happy you know it. If you can tell me what allegedly I'm doing, I'm happy to hear that.
People
But,
like you created it, okay? So, yeah.
so there is no plan to sell gun stock. I have been on the record since I was in my appointment hearing in 2019. That's an issue for the Belknap County delegation. And whether they, as the proxy for the taxpayers, decide to do something with gun stock, that's not our job. And I have opinions about issues with the ski industry, and it has nothing to do with Vail. Vail might be a problem. So,
Did you think you could treat a CEO like that, though? Like reaching in, and I know at the last meeting, there were some things said about, you know, Webb, who works for him, who runs the ski instruction, which has been quite profitable. But did you guys really think that you could reach down? Because like I said, I have been a CEO for way bigger organizations than this. And I will tell you, if my board presumed to do that, it's undermining, it's disrespectful. You expected anything other than what you got tonight? Really?
My name's Judy, I'm an out-of-stater. And I conclude my 4th year at Gunstock. And what you need to know, we all represent the ski school here. We've all been, I'm one of the newer instructors actually. Most have been there for 30+ years. And it's a haven. It's a place where former CEOs are working, where people who fix problems around the developing world, where people who hit the 1,000,000-mile mark when they were 30 in flights, by the way, buddy, okay? You've got a real cross-section of people working here who would otherwise have absolutely nothing to do with one another. And Gunstock has brought us all together. And many of us have worked with a variety of different ski school directors and instructors, but the common denominator has been the ski school and the spirit with which we conduct ourselves and get along and play well with one another. We all came here tonight because we have an extremely efficient network and communication channel. And when there was a cry, show up, we came, and more were hoping to come but couldn't make it. And we weren't even given the friggin' opportunity to support these people who have made our lives a complete joy for the last 2 years. Going to work at Gunstock was absolute, and I'm doing an hour and 10 minutes, 2 ways, every single weekend, 3 days. And I do it because it's worth every minute and every extra buck I have to pay for gas. And I just am sorry that we couldn't even be here to support them. Please do something about this. Because how can we trust you if you can take down this? What's an instructor to you?
You know, since we're already on the subject of money and ski instruction, I have a question for Mr. Ness if he's willing to actually answer it. Do you have any regret or do you feel anything about your initial attempt to sell your own ski instruction software to the mountain when you were a member of the GAC? That seems to be a huge catalyst for a lot of what's happened here tonight. And I want to see if you have any comment on that.
Name, please.
I've never attempted, sir, to sell any software to Gunstock.
Point of order, can we get the gentleman's name, please?
Yeah, I'm assuming he's a reporter.
Assuming? Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a while. You know who I am at this point.
We have a name, sir?
You know who I am.
No,
Dave.
I don't know who you are.
It's John Decker, Daily Sun, for the millionth time.
That's, for the record, that's the first time I've heard your name.
Well, you gotta clean the cotton out of your ears, man.
Dude, like, that's not very professional.
It's also not professional when I can hear him screaming the F word around Tom Day's name during a closed-door meeting through a wall. So I guess we're already kind of there.
Oh, so we're now lying.
Oh, no, not at all. You can ask Gary Kadash about that as well. I heard you guys at the last closed-door meeting. Didn't mean to, but yeah.
Any further comments? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I do not work at Gunstock, but I love Gunstock, and I've been skiing there and hiking there and zip lining there and just enjoying time there for 10 years. And I can tell you that my time there I've seen the mountain grow. So it's gone from like just being a ski mountain, and then it had a zip line, and then it has all this amazing summer stuff. The hiking trails are amazing, and it's well run. And during COVID, when everything was horrible, they did a phenomenal job of keeping that mountain open, keeping people safe, keeping people skiing, keeping people outside, and keeping people together. And the first day I skied there, I went into the office and I was like, thank you. Thank you so much for the job that you did, because I'm a teacher, and I know how hard it was to work during COVID. And I know how hard my administrators worked during COVID to keep the schools open. So to keep that mountain open and keep it running during COVID, that is an exceptional management team right there. And they deserve a seat at the table.
My name is Alex DeLuca. I work at Gunstock, and I work full-time for Shaw's Supermarkets. And I just want to say to everyone that just walked, and to everyone else, you all the employees, thank you. I love each and every one of you, and I'm really, really disappointed with what just happened.
Shocked.
I'm a faithful person, and I know that the right thing will happen. So please, I'm urging you just to do the right thing. I mean, I have a season pass up at Loon. I mean, I love to ski at Loon, but you know what? The quality of the snow and the control and the staff over the last couple of years has been better at Gunstock, because this team and everyone, all the employees made it feel like a home. And I just want to, I'm speechless. I just want to say thank you to Gunstock, and I love you all. And give yourselves a round of applause, because you deserve it.
Sir, you've had your time.
Well,
Really,
it's open.
there are other people that want to speak.
Okay, that's fine, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, thank you. My name is Juliette Harvey-Boley. I'm the state rep in Tilton and Sanborn, and I just want to say, I am also faithful, and I do believe that the right thing will be done. And these 4 people here are volunteers. It's a very difficult job. So thank you, yes, to the employees, and I don't know what happened. If they want to have the audience and have the management in a different configuration, I don't know why that's a cause for uproar, but I thank them for their service as well. It's a hard job.
Representative Mike Ward. So you guys basically chased away the best thing to happen to Gunstock. Tom Day has ran that mountain meticulously. You're micromanaging. Everything you guys have done has chased away the best management they've ever had. I just want to say thank you for running the mountain.
Yes, sir.
My name is Tom Brown, and I'm a retired Bill Management Shell employee. And for the last 16 years, I have taught skiing for Vail Resorts. And I have taught at Vail, and I have taught at Beaver Creek. And you can say what you want to say about Vail. I can say what I want to say about Vail. Not all of my days were happy days, but most of them were damn good days. I personally, this will be my 3rd year at Gunstock. I personally think that instead of you guys being focused on the customers, you're focused on the fight. You're focused on the fight between yourselves and the delegation. And that is taking the focus off from the customer. That's taking the focus off the customer. You got a great management team. And if you went out and you talked to the people of the county, you would find that the grooming is great. The snowmaking is great. The customers are happy. The customers are very, very, very dissatisfied with this fight that's been going on between the delegation and the GAC. And you need to fix it. And if you don't fix it, who will come in here now and replace Tom Day if he or she is going to be confronted with the fight? So,
Thank you, sir. I'd like to respond to that because we are engaged in a review right now with legal counsel to understand exactly why there was a lawsuit filed against the Belknap County delegation by this commission, and none of the people sitting at these seats were involved in that decision process. There's legal advice from counsel that's a matter of public record that talks about that question that you just asked. And none of us had anything to do with that.
my only comment would be is that if you went out to Colorado and you spent a season just working for the company, you would see how focused the company is on satisfying the meeting and satisfying the needs of the customer.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
This is everything but.
I'd like to make a comment. So I know that we're going to go into non-public to discuss personnel matters. You know, we're getting accused of micromanaging and driving these people away, and what we are doing is we have been doing our job. What I really have hoped would happen, and I'm very distressed that it's come to this, because I've had conversations with Tom Day and several other of the people that have just left the room, and I try to impress upon them that we are doing our job as commissioners, we're looking at this master development plan, we're talking millions and millions of dollars that are going to have to be bonded, which means that a delegation, whether it's the present one or a different one, a delegation is going to be asked to approve bonding to spend millions of dollars, which in turn is the public of Belknap County will also be asked. And if there isn't a high level of confidence of the people that are going to be asked to present and to approve this money, it isn't going to happen. And I can tell you, as a prior to me being here, resident of Belknap County, I had very little confidence that the Gunstock Area Commission was doing its job. They were rubber stamping things and they weren't questioning things. We are questioning, and like I said at the last meeting, we asked questions, yes, about the parking lot. But at the end, we had a 5-0 vote. Now, we have one meeting a month, basically, to conduct our business. And I see nothing wrong with asking questions. We weren't questioning, we were asking questions. I have said again and again and again, the improvements in the wonderful job that Tom Day has done, okay? And I think that other members of this commission have said the same thing. We recognize that. However, we are tasked to do a job. And that job involves understanding and questioning and ultimately, hopefully, supporting. I came into this meeting tonight expecting that we were going to finalize our compromise plan for the Stockade Lodge, which I was excited about this because people on many sides of that issue came together and came up with a plan that I think was going to be a win-win for everybody at Gunstock. And instead, this happened. And I am very disappointed. I hope these people that have resigned, we have not accepted their resignation.
Don't.
You didn't seat them at the table with you. That's the problem. That's why they
You need to fix this. You need to fix this.
Well, let me just say this. If I had worked at Gunstock for 21 years, okay, and done a good job and put my life there, I don't know that short of it maybe being a political stunt, I would throw my career away because of simply where I'm sitting. I don't.
No, it's totally disrespectful. Respect. It's respect. It's disrespectful.
This meeting was going to be operated in the same fashion. Do you think when the delegation sits in a meeting set up like this, it's disrespectful to the commissioners?
Excuse me, sir, this is not a debate.
Yes.
We're having one comment per person. You had your 3 minutes.
That was a
Please
power
stand
play.
down.
That was a power play.
Let me just close by saying I'm disappointed that they've done this. I hope they reconsider. There's some good people that I think it's a shame for them to be throwing their career away. Maybe it's a whim. Is it a whim? Do you put a job coming in and seeing a seating arrangement? I'm just very disappointed.
As a YMCA exec, I would know for a fact that my board would be like, they'd walk right out the door, and with all due respect. And to do what you did without even telling them is totally unprofessional. Totally.
I don't see much respect.
Well, because we're not getting respect from you, man, in all due respect, that's okay. But that's,
They don't like
this
sitting
is,
there as volunteers, they should walk out.
Mr. Chairman, I think we can all recognize that the emotions are very high in this room. I know that I cannot speak on behalf of this commission, but I can assure you that we will do our very best to look after the employees of Gunstock who remain, and we will make decisions hopefully in the best interests of all involved, including those who put in their resignation this evening. And so I urge you to please be patient, and more information will be forthcoming. But are there any more comments at this point?
I think
left of public comments.
How much?
2 minutes.
So we have, yes, Ms. Casey.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ness. Can can you just confirm, because I'm not as familiar with the RSAs as you are, and please correct me if I'm wrong and tell me how it reads, but, so you can go into non-public session, you can call that, but what about the rest of the meeting that was scheduled? The non-public session isn't scheduled. Are we going to review the minutes, talk about whatever else is on the agenda, or you're just aborting the agenda?
Given the events we've witnessed, we made a determination to change the agenda and move into non-public so that we can discuss what we will do about members of management resigning minutes ago.
So that RSA that you quote says that you can change the agenda and go into non-public? I just am looking for, I can't find it in the bylaws.
Non-publics are governed by 91A3, and Roman 2 are the specific provisions that allow non-publics, and that specific section that I cited has to do with employment. And we have an employment issue that we need to discuss.
Right,
in a non-public
so
session.
that's trumping the rest of the business.
So, as the chair who controls the agenda of the meeting, given the unusual events that we've just witnessed, I've made a decision, and the commissioners have agreed that we're going to terminate the meeting as the agenda stands and move to non-public to address these special issues.
I'm just curious, being inexperienced with all of this, is if this type of thing has happened. I mean, several meetings you've referenced not being a regular board, not being, I don't know, several names that Gary Kadash listed off, and you rebuked all of those. And then tonight you say you're trying to run it more like a delegation meeting or a regular board.
No, I never used the word board, I said commission.
Okay.
Would it be helpful, Mr. Chairman, if we had a motion to amend our agenda or modify our agenda with a voice vote?
Yes.
Okay.
If you would like to make a motion to, please do.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to move to non-public to address the employment concerns that we have to address. Following public comment.
I'll second that. Do we need any discussion? All right. Commissioner Strang?
Yes.
Commissioner Lambert?
Yeah.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Ness, yes. So the vote is 4-0 to amend the agenda, terminate the current agenda that's in front of us, and move into a non-public session. So the audience is now going to be asked to leave the room.
Excuse me, point of order. Will you be coming back into public session afterwards? As you said at the beginning of the meeting?
Yeah, we have to in order to adjourn.
Okay.
And one other point is, you need to do a roll call vote to actually go into non-public.
We just did.
No,
That was
to
amend the
agenda.
agenda.
amend the, right,
So we'll now, Commissioner Wood, if you can.
It was part of Commissioner Wood's motion to enter non-public.
No, with all due respect.
I heard her say that. I make a motion.
Okay, I make a motion to go to non-public.
Thank you. I'll second that motion.
so,
Voice vote. Dr. Strang?
Yes.
Mr. Lambert?
yes.
Ms. Wood? Commissioner Ness, yes. So 4-0 to enter non-public at
Crop TV.